Good morning. We are in Kuf Chaf Daled, Sif Chaf Beis. Chavis shenistaka la'archa. It's the chavis which cracked, cracked along the length, the height, whatever. But kadam oivik kachavim v'chabka kadesh yispardu acharasim. Right. So the oivik kachavim came quickly and held it shut, held it closed tightly shut. Hareza mutter, the wine in that barrel is mutter b'hana. But im nistika l'rachva, but if it's split the rachov, it's split across the middle here. Nasan yado aleha, v'hichbir aleha, and he went ahead and he put pressure on it. He sat on it, put pressure on it. Ad shehidka, mana yitzias hayayin, mutter b'shtia. That's not just mutter b'hana, it's mutter b'shtia. Shim delo havi nogea. That's not called nogea. V'doichik yayin achovis. It's not called nogea v'doichik yayin. It's not called that he's moving the yayin the chovis. This is different. He's just putting weight on it. It's not that. Elamaisa levena ba'alma. It's just he's acting like a brick. He's paperweight, whatever. He's just a brick. Kavim. Trehu kalevena on the suna piachavis umachbita. He's just dead weight. So therefore, it's not an actual ma'isa. It doesn't do anything. Bechavis shel eitz sheish lehem chishukim circles belaz. If there's like different, handles and things. Circles, right? Bands, right, that makes sense. Circles. Sometimes, often English borrows words from French, so often you're able to read the old French. Even if it cracked to the lengthwise, the chavka of v'chachavim muteres b'shtia, because they're also holding it together, so he's also not doing. He's just adding on to the koach. We'll see when we get into koach and kocho and mixing. If he's if it's him and something else, him and someone else, then it doesn't cause yain nesech. So too over here, he's only reinforcing the chishukim. So then that's fine. It doesn't. It's mutter b'filu b'shtia.
This is work in the first case, don't work in the second.
I mean, you'll see. It gets into more koach. It's very interesting. It gets, Chazal just, if they did, I don't know if they did the actual calculations, but they understood the physics of the world without, even without that. Chav Gimel Chavis Shahaya Nekev B'tzida Chavis that was had a hole in the side. V'nishma the pkak. Nekev and the plug, the cork, whatever it is, popped out. And he stuck his hand there to stop the flow of wine. All the wine from the top of the chavis until the nekev is aser b'hana. The shemina nekev ulamata muter b'hana v'aser b'shtia. Now it's like sort of like there's a case, like a mashal by mikvahs, if there's a hole in the middle of the mikvah, and therefore everything on top of the hole is possible because it's like zeichlin, it's like flowing. Because once something starts moving and then you monea it, so then it's kila, you're putting your, and again we said minia, stopping something is considered koach. So he's putting putting the koach. He's holding up the wine on top. It's poil on the. It does something to the wine on top. So that's going to be aser b'hana. It's Kili picked the whole thing up, moved it, shook it. But for anything from below, then it's just aser b'shtia because it's not. It's shelo b'kavana. It would be shelo.
It's actually touching though.
He's touching. Right. Right. That's the thing. He's touching the wine but we said if he stuck his hand in loba kavana, it doesn't answer it. Here he also osik malachta, different things. But if it's going to be also, it's only stuff on top, also bahana. But on the bottom, it's only also b'shtia, which is alasa madrega hagavi yimkor hakol chutz me'ayin also bahana. You have to try to make a cheshbon, let's say from wherever the hole is and on top, how much that is, and take off that money. The dafka shahaya sham yisra nahatzil ayayim. This is only if there was a Yisrael there which could have saved the wine. Uba v'kachavim etzilai, and he jumped up and quickly saved it. Because it's right. Aval im lo yakan Yisrael lahatzil. If there's no one around. Again, he's focusing on saving the wine, and therefore he doesn't have the focus to do nisuch as well. So not choshesh. Again, it's also b'shtia, but everything, the whole barrel is going to be mutter bahana as well. Um, right. One second. Yado al hanekev or shetachav barza shah. That's why he put his hand in the hole, or he stuck a spigot in to touch the wine. Ve'ena overis hashulaim, and it doesn't go into the actual wine. If it was a small hole and he plugged it with his finger, or barza arucha gvar nizbar the kula also bahana. Then he's putting his actual finger in, or he's putting when he's sticking the spigot in, it shakes the wine, and everything comes out subhanallah. Right. It's the same din when as if he pulls it out, if he pushes it in, it's all the same. All the same din if it touches the wine. Now again, if he went ahead and he stuck a cork into a wine bottle, since there's always space on top, it's not going to be this din. There might be other problems, but it's saying it won't be this. It won't be this thing because it's not actually touching the wine. Now it could be if he shakes it, picks it up. That's something else. If it was a situation where if he didn't put his hand there, all the wine would flow out. Could go into kafufa. They made like a sort of like a spout, which is bench. You put one head of the tube into the wine, and you put the other one outside the chavis. It's a siphon, right? This is talking about a siphon. If you went ahead and they did a siphon, and that's how that's how they would go ahead and drain the whole barrel. Let's say he didn't start. I don't think he started the flow is a problem, but let's say someone else started the flow, and he put his finger, to stop the tube by the siphon. Umana hayayin milered, and he stopped the wine from going out. Nesar kol hayayin shebechavis b'hana. The mamish asks everything b'hana. Shakol hayayoytze. All the wine would have gone out, but v'nigvar, all the wine started moving. So therefore, if he had some sort of paula on this wine, it's not just anything above the whole barrel. He has a influence on. It's ki'ilu. He stopped it, so it was moving, and he stopped it. The whole thing is considered koch.
Assuming that the cycle goes all the way to the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah. If you want to drain the whole barrel, it has to go to the bottom. But if he only touches the kiluach, hayayin she'omi b'marzev also shivnitzuk, right? All the wine which is in the siphon, which is in the tube, is going to be also because of nitzuk. V'chol yayin ha'acher shebesoich hakankan having nitzuk bar nitzuk umuter af b'shtia. That's because that's called nitzuk bar nitzuk. It's to remove that there's the flow, which you could the Chazal make it differentiate between the flow which is in the tube and the wine which is flowing into the tube. It's not all considered attached. So if he touches the wine over here, so that's nitzuk to the tube, but the Chazal said okay, but it's a second nitzuk, a second connection to the to which to the flow to the flow of the wine. Like I remember I went to an aquarium. I have an aquarium in the house. So I was trying to find a thing to clean it. You need it's a siphon to clean it. So the guy said, I went to a fish store and they just had like a tube. I'm like, well, how do you use this? He's like, well, you just put your mouth through it, suck it, whatever. I'm like. You end up with fish water in your mouth. No, it doesn't happen. Okay, fine. No, thank you. I'll go find him. But yeah, but siphoning does work. A guy touches the wine with the stick, something else. You could go in Yoreh be'adekel b'yada lulav. He was cutting the lovin for sukkahs, for El Arish or whatever. V'naga barosha lulav b'yayin shelo b'kavana, and the head of the lulav touched the wine of b'kavana. So you're not talking about like like he was misasek. Question is, did he not intend at all, or like he wasn't paying attention? I'm not sure. It touched his pants or something, or his jacket corner. Let's say he wanted to touch it. Now, he thought it was water. He didn't realize that it was petal. Mutar fil b'shtia. Maisa once I was in yeshiva. Someone took a grape juice bottle and put grape petal in and put it in the fridge. So came with the Shabbos and they wanted to make Havdalah. So they took it, made Havdalah on it. Everyone got called back 20 minutes later saying, no, some of the Bachram said, no, wait, it was grape petal. Yeah. So they had to go back and make Havdalah for everyone. So sometimes you're not able to tell. Grape soda, things like that. So it's Siyah Shalom Kavana. Which is Vair. He stuck it in Shalom Kavana to touch it. He was trying to save it, things like that. The next bit is an important. This is a important remark for the whole day. Nesech v'zvan hazeh the umos lad of alos kochavim heim. And nowadays that the umos are not of the zara kol maga mipi shelo kavana. It's like a cotton. They touch it. It's not called kavana to go ahead and that's all called lo kavana because they don't really mechaven it to I can't even do nisuch. I don't know what the din is, but in Catholic churches with the wine and what they do, I don't know if that's mamash nesef. Meant to look it up, or it's different. Lav dafka it is because they don't really menasech it to him, but they make it. But it's unclear. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if those. If you go up to the monastery over here and ask them, I guess I don't know. Yeah, but I'm not certain. But Akoparid, this Ramah says that you can be samech a rov going. That at least rov going. They're not actually of the kuchavim. In the Gemara says that many of us saying b'yadehim. So even if you go to India, China, all these places, they're not oliv zara. And there are some in India. I guess you could say, but still, many of them say b'yadehim. It's not like it was.
There is the promise of over in Asia. Sure.
Right. But the question is, the question is Rabbi talking in Europe, or he's talking, I don't know, in the Eastern countries. In Poland, probably in Poland, in the Western world. Yeah. Yeah. So even there, he was Makel. But even still, even like it's hard to know. Even like a lot of the Eastern religions, Buddha and all these things, they're all like they're odd. They're not like it was, or like they have images, but the worship is different. Like these are like the worship ideals, and it's like a bit. it. All right, we'll get to Hilchos about Zara, what chilukim are, but again, it's not the same way that it was where people push it, were push it, bowing down to idols, as the idol has is my avodah zara or whatever. So things are a little bit different. Therefore, if a non-Jew touches it, they davar acher. If he touches it with a stick, afal pishi Deah shuhu yain, he knows it's wine. The kivin ligabo, and he wanted to touch it. Mutar afilu b'shtia. The mikri maga ali davar acher shelo b'kavana. And maga ali davar acher shelo b'kavana is mutar b'shtia. Avuadin in naga. Naga afilu biyada below kavanas maga. If he touches with his hand, but he wasn't intending to touch it, or shlo yada shuyayna. Of course, he didn't realize it was wine. Shari ve'ein lefarsem hadavar b'fnei am haaretz. However, you shouldn't, give a share. You shouldn't. I assume. I hope that's no one of the shares on Amaretz. Hopefully, or at least now they won't be. So therefore, they won't have a dinner on Amaretz. But Ahopanim. So you shouldn't mafarsim it because again, one of the main things of Yain Nesach or Stam Yenam and all these things is to marchik us from the goyim, so we shouldn't intermingle with them and shouldn't assimilate. So for people who know the halachos and things. So okay, they have enough Yerushalayim that they're anyway not going to take this as a heter to go ahead and go go drink with their neighbors. But people who aren't so who just hear a heter will jump on it. You shouldn't be enforcing it to them.
What's the finish in this one? Muadin.
In naga afilu biyodo. The racher, yeah. Which and this is right, and this is the this is the Psak of Ashkenazi. Svardim are more machmir. I didn't look into it's hard to find Svardim. I assume this is the kula of the Ramah. I mean the Mechaber is makel by Shve'elim, but not by Christians. But it seems the Ramah is makel even by Christians. Yain shehu munach b'reshus harabim, yain which is in reshus harabim, ubo v'chachavim v'dachru sham sakin lehutzi yain. A soldier comes by and sticks a sword in it to get some wine. Mashi yotza lechutz aser. Anything which came out is aser. Or mashi b'fnim shari. Anything which is still inside is mutter. Kivin de lo kivin of v'chachavim rachlinkloi v'chavis. He wasn't trying to touch the wine. He was just trying to stick the sword in to make a hole in the chavis. So kivin liga b'yayin. He didn't care about touching the wine. If you naga b'yayin, even if he touched the wine, havle maga v'chachavim adi davar acher shlo b'kavana v'shari. But anything which came out, his kavana was he would want to take a cup of wine. That cup of wine, anything which came out, that already he had kavana for. Chavhei noit sheyesh bo yayin. A note is a leather. It was a leather flask, flexible. It was flexible. And he touches a node from the outside. And feel who chaser the higia the funnel zuba. There was there it wasn't completely full, and there was empty pocket, and he pushed it together. Mutter afilu b'shtia she'ein derech nisuch l'chach. There's not derech nisuch to go ahead and squeeze the sides of a node together to do nisuch. So therefore, there weren't goyzer in that case.
Shaking a bottle is derech nisuch.
Yeah, so this is shaking is derech nisuch, but this is not shake. If he took the node and shook it, then that would be a problem. Here we're just talking about the fact that he touched it on the outside, even though it's flexible. Right, it's soft, so therefore.
Move the whole node?
No, I probably didn't pick it up and shake it. He just touched it, and the thing, went in. That's okay. Chavav baras shahayis refuya b'chavis. If he had a spout which wasn't so tight, and he went and put glue in, sticks, whatever he did. Mutar fil b'shtia because he's osik v'malachtoi. And therefore, even if he wiggled it, that already is touching a davar acher anyway, and then even for the mechaber, it's going to be mutter, because it wasn't that wasn't done b'kavana. Or the shach says it's ma'aseh levena ba'alma. He's just trying to shove it in. He's not, he's just putting pressure on. He's not doing anything else. takes a hammer, hammers it in. It doesn't make it the same thing. Chav Zayin, chavis shel eitz shu mitaftev or shoises. If you have a chavis which is dripping, yikach Yisrael hanuuros biyado yinichene keneged nekev. He puts the fibers or whatever it is, the flax, I don't know, whatever, and puts it by the nekev. Shihim na yain tzas bilotze, so that at least the wine will stop going, at least stop going on a bit. V'yavo avikachavim uman, and he calls. He's standing there, and he calls the, you know the wine plumbers, I don't know, whatever it is, wine work, the barrel makers. Genu b'sakim b'nekev, and he went ahead and he was able to, to whatever, use a knife. Actually, yistam heitev, he was able to go ahead and to stuff it, so it's yistam heavy meyayin sheises harbe. If it's pouring out, you have to be sure when he's doing malachtoi, but you have to really be sure he doesn't touch the wine. Biyodo, of a sakin b'di'evid, shari. If he touches it with the sakin, shari. If he uses, I was wondering if he uses gloves, the nylon gloves, would that be considered? I don't know. Would that be considered maga or not? It's bottle to the guf l'chara. But in this situation, it could be, since he had no kavana anyway, it might be nagia di davar. Obviously, if he if he had a glove and he stuck it in the wine, I don't think it makes a difference. I think it's going to be also. But in this case, which little kavana, it might be different, but I'm not sure. You have to, something thing would happen. You'd have to ask. You don't have to mind. But I wrote to Lasus min a mufkar yehadik a chavis bechevel. You should tie it together with a chevel. But you such tisas a yayin and then stop it